Salutations dear viewers, this is George from Ireland, and in this video I'm going to be telling you how to answer school admissions questions. This is for people hoping to get into secondary schools. You might be in a primary school already or coming up to secondary school age. So the general principle is that monosyllabic answers are almost never right. This video is more aimed at parents because a lot of people aged 13 and below wouldn't know what monosyllabic means. Give answer plus one. That means don't give the minimum information, give a little more than was actually asked for. For instance, if they say, do you have any sisters or brothers? You wouldn't simply say, yes. You'd say, yes, I have two sisters, and they're both younger than me, for example. You might say no, because you're an only child, and then you might mention your cousins, something like that. Below are some imaginary questions, though some of them really have been asked in school interviews. So if you were a headmaster or a headmistress and you're looking to bring people into your school, what sort of pupils do you want to recruit? Ask yourself that. Presumably you want people who are polite, intelligent, well-spoken, truthful, and all the rest of it. If they can't be all of these things, could they at least be most of them? You don't have to be a genius to get into most schools, just have to be reasonably intelligent. And even if you're not that scholarly, if you're at least courteous and polite, that will go a long way. So candidates should present themselves well, speak at the right speed, right volume, don't be whispering, and don't be shouting. Maintaining eye contact, you might have to glance away occasionally as you think about something, and you might need to pause whilst you think about things, ask for a moment to consider the question, or ask for it to be repeated. So I'm going to have some questions and some answers. They're not right per se. The right answer is always an honest one, but you should present yourself in as positive a manner as possible, speak grammatically, giving the right amount of detail, avoiding slang. Some of the questions will overlap. For example, if they say, tell me about sports you like, they might follow that up with, and tell me about your achievements in sport. So it may well start with some small talk. Hello, how are you? And you would reply, I'm very well, thank you. And how are you? So it's always mannerly to return the question, asking, and how are you? What you don't want to say is, and some people just grunt or say, okay. So you want you to be a little bit energetic, enthusiastic, passion for the school. If you're eager to be there, that also helps you win a place. If you traveled a long way, you might be asked about that. How was your flight? And you could say it was fine. The airline was pretty good. If you've come by train or car, there might be similar questions. Which hotel are you staying at? I'm staying at the nice hotel. It's quite comfortable. I'm happy with it. Something like that. Nice was a rather silly name for me to make up extemporaneously. Background. So you might be asked, where are you from? And you'd say, I'm from city, country, which is in the south of the country, just in case the person doesn't know where it is, particularly if you're coming from overseas. The person interviewing might be a headmaster or headmistress or registrar, and the interviewer might ask, what are your parents' jobs? You might reply, my mother's an architect and my father is a bank manager, something like that. I know it can get complicated if you have stepmother, stepfather, things like that. And you might point out who's a stepmother, stepfather, or you might just say mother and father, not get into that later. So the interviewer might ask something like, how is your country different from this one? And a good answer would be something like this. Well, there are some cultural differences. Our food is quite different. We're very respectful of old people, but I like the way the lessons here are more fun. Something like that would be a perfectly adequate answer. It's reasonably long, it's 3 sentences, it's grammatical, gives a little bit of detail, you have a few opinions without being too vociferous. Let me see. Here's another one they might ask. What is school like in your country? In some ways it's quite different. We do a lot more mathematics, we have to remember things a lot more, and not explain things so much. Something like that. Okay, so these answers will always be grammatical and they will be reasonably long. If you're rabbiting on for ages, the interview would stop you. This video is particularly for those who are outside the United Kingdom wishing to go to school in the UK. The interviewer might ask, where do you go to school? You might reply, I go to Ludgrove School, it's in Berkshire. So the interviewer will probably have all this all the information to these questions already on a file, but he or she might be asking easy ones just to get things going. The other thing is that interviewer may interview scores of people, might interview several people that day, so sometimes they get confused, so don't be put off by that. They might mispronounce your name, especially if it's a name from a different part of the world. Let me see. Here's another one. Might any of your siblings join us here at this school one day? You might reply, well, not my brother, but my cousin might come here if I do. She's asking about the school. That'd be a good one. Sibling means sister or brother. And if they really want to test how clever you are, they might use the word sibling to see if you know what it means. So a cousin is not a sibling, but it's close enough. As I say, answer +1. You could interpret the question more broadly, and the school would like to hear that they take you, they'll get a few more pupils. There might be questions about admissions tests like this. Which subjects did you do in the admissions test? I did non-verbal reasoning, verbal reasoning, English, and maths. Something like that. Then the interviewer might ask, how did they go? Here's a good reply. English went very well. It was a fun paper. Non-verbal reasoning was fine too. I finished early, and then I went back to check my answers. Verbal reasoning was not as easy, but I got through it. Maths was a little bit hard. So that's a sensible answer. Now, obviously, you're going to have to adapt it according to which exams you did and how you performed in them. But an extreme answer is probably not good. If you say that you are the brainiest person on the planet and it was also easy peasy lemon squeezy, you'd come across as conceited. If, on the other hand, you said it was a complete calamity and they should reject you, again, that wouldn't go down well. So something in the middle, being reasonably optimistic, that's what they want to hear. Listen to this. You have some admissions tests coming up. How do you feel about them? I'm taking it seriously, but I'm not too worried. That would be a decent answer, because you might do the tests before the interview or after the interview. Okay, they might ask you about extracurricular activities. Are you musical? And here's a good answer. Yes, I play the piano. I'm grade 3 right now. So if you're not, you can obviously say that you're not, and possibly say you're considering starting an instrument. They're not going to make you actually do one. Here's another question. Do you like acting? No, not really. I do drama at school, but I'm not great at it. So there you are. Your answer's not been too emphatic. Acknowledge that it's not your favourite subject. You don't have to like everything. Nobody does. Here's another question. What sports do you like? I like to play rugby and I like rowing. I'm scrum captain. Rugby is really fun and we won most of our matches. So again, that's quite an upbeat answer and it's pertinent. Here's another good one. Tell me about your sporting achievements. Yes, sure. I am vice captain of the rugby team. We beat our rival school 78-0 and I scored 2 tries that match. That's an excellent answer, especially if it's true. But sometimes you might have some bad news, but you can be honest about that. They don't expect you to win everything. Another one. What are your hobbies? I am a voracious reader. I write stories for pleasure. I like to go camping with my family. I adore swimming in the sea. And I go cycling every day. So that'd be a fabulous answer. It shows that you're an active person, you're a go-getter. So they very much believe in a healthy body for a healthy mind. So you don't have to give exactly these answers, but something along these lines. It's got to be true for you. They certainly don't want to find out that you've been lying to them. All right, here's another question. What do you do in your free time? I like to read fiction. I also write some stories of my own. I like cycling, and I like to swim and to meet my friends. I like going camping with my family sometimes. So that's a variety of activities, some indoors, some outdoors. And that's what they'd like to hear, that you're an active person who's got a few hobbies. Right, here's another one. Which instruments would you like to play here? I already play the piano, but I'm not good at it. I might try the violin. So stop there. Obviously, tell the truth. If you're brilliant at music, you can say that. But this person is being honest and acknowledging that they're not outstanding at everything. Next one. What grade are you in these instruments? I'm 3rd grade in the violin, and I've been learning it for 3 years. Obviously, that doesn't quite fit the answer I gave before. I'm varying it. Next one. Would you like to join the choir? I would like to try. Yes. Something like that. They might ask you questions about the school. Why do you want to come to this school? I want to come to this school because it's so old and famous. So many famous people have been here. Names. The teachers are fantastic. The school gets outstanding exam results. The school will give me a good chance to go to an excellent university. The ancient buildings are really beautiful. The schools have got fantastic location. That means there are lots of matches against other schools. You can go to the theatre a lot. There's a brilliant theatre here. You have a half Olympic-sized swimming pool, and there are amazing sports facilities. You play sports every day. There's a brilliant orchestra and choir. Some of my friends from my old school came here. I met one of your teachers last year. She gave a talk at our school, and she's a very nice woman. You've got a huge library and a great IT room. The school's quite international, and I can make friends from all over the world. The boarding houses are really comfortable, and there's a very friendly atmosphere. That would be an outstanding answer. What are your favourite subjects? I like English and French the most, and I see how the two languages help each other. What subjects do you find difficult? Well, I'm not great at science. So you change the subjects around according to what's true for you. What are you doing to improve in those subjects? I take extra time over my homework. My parents have got a tutor who comes to help me once a week, and I sometimes ask my class teacher for more guidance. These might be more questions. Are you well behaved? Oh yes, certainly. I obey the rules, and I've never been given detention. Have you ever been suspended or punished? No, never. My behaviour is excellent. How should pupils behave towards teachers? Pupils should be very respectful. Like that, I always obey teachers. Can you recognise when you've done wrong and apologise? Yes, sure. Sometimes I'm wrong and I admit it. I say sorry. How are you good at doing your homework? I'm pretty good at it. I almost always do it on time. Do you like your present school? Yes, it's quite good. The teachers are mostly very good. There are lots of sports to play, but I'm ready to go on to a bigger school and try more things. How do you feel about boarding? I feel positive about it. It'll help me mature and make really close friends. There are a lot more activities at boarding schools. This school is a Christian ethos, and you must attend chapel. How do you feel about that? Yeah, that's fine. Even though I'm not from a Christian family, I don't mind attending chapel at all. I like the music, and it's educational. Do you know any pupils in our school already? Yes, I know a few people who left my school last year. They're already here, and they say it's a tremendous school. What do you know about this school? Well, it was founded in 1820 by Mr. Baird. Some well-known people like politicians and writers have been here. It gets terrific exam results. There's a ski trip every Christmas, and the school's really keen on music. Might you want to join the CCF? Yes, I would. It seems really fun. I want to see what the army's like. How do you feel about being the only one of your nationality here? I really like the fact there are lots of nationalities. I'm a global citizen. The school is very international. Do you like that? Yes, I do. I've been to a few other countries, and I really like meeting people from all over the world. Which are the schools you're applying to? I'll apply to Harrow, Uppingham, and Caterham. Are we your first choice? Yes, you're my top choice. If you don't get in here, where will you go? I'll probably go to Uppingham. This is a mixed school. How do you feel about that? I like it. It's more human. You need to socialise with boys and girls. It prepares people for adult life. If it's a single-sex school, how do you feel about that? Well, it's good because there's less distraction and people are freer to be themselves without worrying about what the opposite sex thinks. Do you have any questions for me? Yes, I do. Would it be possible to play rugby and football in the autumn term, or do I have to pick just one? Long-term future. What do you want to do after you finish school? I want to go to university and study English or maybe French. What job do you want to do? I'm not sure, it's so far away. Perhaps become a journalist, but I need to do an internship first. Okay, so that's about enough.